Hi. All right. It is Tuesday evening, and I'm checking to see if things are working in other places for my downline. Oh, fantastic. That's working, and I think that'll be the first time. And inviting in our Instagram friends. And there we go. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to try a couple new things this evening. One is a different webcam to see if I look any better. And, uh, and I've got some photos, um, that my friend, who this is her Million Sales Achiever stamp set, the Shepherd's Care, that if all that works, I'm gonna be able to share those on the screen too, because she sent me some samples. I was telling her things weren't just falling together. So I sent her a text and I said, do you have any samples you can share? Because it's not falling together. And it took not terribly long, but in the meantime, things started falling together for me. But I did get an idea from hers, but I asked her if it was okay to share what she sent me, and she said absolutely. And my friend, well, when we look at the stamp set, I'll tell you her name. Oh, Miss Adelaide is here. All right. So how about we get the party started? I'm Shelley Godby, and for 23 years, I've been teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles through my YouTube videos, my Stamping Smiles blog, and my mailing list. And this evening, I'm going to demonstrate for you a DIY faith based Christmas card using the new Shepherd's Care stamp set. This is from the September through December 2024 Stampin' Up! Mini Catalog. And you know what that means. We'll be calling it the holiday catalog from here on in after I get out the right name. Oh, Miss Danette is here too. Fantastic. All right, so let's have a closer look at my friend's Million Sales Achiever stamp set. Isn't this awesome? I am just so pleased with it. And I don't know if it says it, but this sure looks like a distinctive stamp set with that nice shading. And maybe it's not, but I am crazy about that. And off in the distance, Bethlehem. And we have the Star of Bethlehem and the Star of Bethlehem. And the greetings, peace on earth, but this was something new, praying that you will feel the Good Shepherd's care in this season and throughout the coming year. It's a beautiful sentiment. And then I have a card to share with you. I'm crossing my fingers that it'll work. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds, Psalms 147:3. And she made a non-Christmas card with that. And then we have Wonderful Counselor, Prince of Peace, and Mighty God, Everlasting Father. Just so happy, happy, happy with this. All right. So, usually I'm going to do the greeting, or no, I'm not going to do the greeting. A lot of times I stamp after die cutting. For this, I needed to stamp first. And so what I have here is some very vanilla cardstock. And I'm going to emboss on it. So before I do that, I have my embossing buddy. And this is the Embossing Editions kit. Love it. It is very nice. And the embossing buddy is part of it. Stampin' Up! Developed this years ago because if you've done much embossing, the oil sticks to what's only thing you want to stick to is the wet ink of the Versamark pad, but it'll stick also to the oil in our skin. And I don't want to forget, well, if you're here, a couple of you have said hello. Please check in and say hello. And also like and share my video. And I'd really appreciate that. Every little bit helps. So before I stamp the nice big Star of Bethlehem, we also have some other stars. And I'm going to use Crumb Cake Classic Stampin' Pad. Pick this up. There we go. And ink this up and stamp. I'm going to rotate, stamp again, because I didn't want to have that predictable pattern. All right, I'll be using this again, but let's go ahead and close it. And you know how I'm always oh, Miss Kim is here. All right, so I've got my heat tool that I will be using for embossing. And in the past, I've explained to you how there are two settings. The first one is for drying ink, and the second for embossing. Well, here's a case where I want to dry the ink because I want to emboss and I don't want to set it aside and wait. And so this will dry that ink, so now I can stamp with the Versamark. That's what the first setting is for. Okay, and hopefully that doesn't fall off. All right, so now I've got the Versamark ink. This is a pigment ink, and it stays wet for a good long time, so it's really easy for embossing. Stamp that in the middle of our stars. There we go. Now I can see the image. It's a watermark. Yeah, I don't think the camera is going to pick that up, but the magic happens when I put on the embossing powder. So I've got this tray to catch all the embossing powder, and I have these tweezers. I'm going to go ahead and use them in the corner. That's so my fingers don't get all toasty. Oh, Miss Roxanne is here. Hello. Okay, so I'm sprinkling on, and this is the gold embossing powder from the Wow Metallics embossing powder that I'm so pleased that we are carrying. And so I'm just tapping off. Okay, I got a little bit over here, but I'm going to be die cutting it, so I'm not concerned. I must not have rubbed over there, but there we go. So now it only stuck to what was wet. Let's put this aside and bring back the heat tool. And the tweezers, they're strong, very nice and strong. They're metal, but the tip is plastic, so the heat doesn't radiate up into my poor fingers. So I'm going to hold the embossing gun or the heat tool on it until I see it starting to melt. Let me bring it up closer. Because right now it's just, oh, look at that. See that? It's turning that shiny gold, and wow. And that's all the embossing oh, look at how it catches the light. The only embossing I'm going to do on this card. And the brush is so I can brush that embossing powder on it, and funnel it right back into the jar. That embossing additions toolkit is very nice. So now what I'm going to do is use the deckled circles dies to die cut this. And let me quickly show you that I have mine stored on one of these magnet cards that I get from Stampin' Storage, a separate company. It sounds like a Stampin' Up thing, but it's a separate company that they have products to, oh my goodness, deck out your craft room like no business, to hold your ink pads, your cardstock, and all of your accessories, beautifully, and as well as your stamping supplies. And so I purchased these magnet cards, super strong, and then I slide them into one of these pockets. And I've got links to both of these, and actually I can do this right now. Links to both of those under the video if you're watching on, but this is nice, on YouTube. But if you're watching on Facebook, there it is, and I believe it will put it into um, the comments. And then I've got the pockets. There we go. And so I store them in there, and then I put them in my box. And when I'm really disciplined, I get the name of them on there. But it's nice because now I can see them, and I'm able to, like I said, go through and look. Because today I was looking for different dies as I was designing in my head, and I was thinking how I wanted the star in a circle. Then I was looking for something to stamp the shepherd on, and I can just leaf through and see them. All right. And I do put them in alphabetical order because it makes it easier for me, to find them if I know what I'm looking for. But with them like this, I can just see what I'm doing. Okay. So what I do need is my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I have that right here. And we're learning if I put that handle out of the way, we tend to get a much better image. So if you're just joining us, well, welcome. And this is the Million Sales Achiever stamp set of one of my friends. And my stamping friend, she's just an absolute sweetheart. Oh, I didn't tell you her name. I said I would when we looked at the stamp set. All right. And her name is also listed in the holiday catalog, but it's Cindy Fodor. All right, Cindy Fodor. All right. Okay. And so we got the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I could use plate number 1 and plate number 2, but instead I'm going to use the magnetic platform, and I pick this up on Amazon, and here is the link to it on there, but it's also under the video, as well as when you're watching on YouTube, link to my other favorite crafting non-Stampin' Up! Crafting supplies that I link to YouTube. So I'm going to use this instead. And then a plate number 3, that's a cutting plate. And then we'll put our stamped cardstock on there. Oops. And I was so neat and tidy, I put these away. I need this circle. So it was the second largest? Second smallest. How about that? All right, this is a little bit warped. And let me turn that over. Yeah, that's a little better contact. There we go. And flop that on there. And I flop it on for it to find a magnet. Let me pull this back so I can see what I'm doing. I think that looks pretty good and centered. And then I need another plate number 3. Fantastic. And then we'll go ahead and crank this through. And you know what? This is just such a great machine. You don't need to crank it through twice to die cut. I'm just doing that so it comes back and we can have it. And there we go. We have our Star of Bethlehem, all Boston and pretty with some stars around it. And I stamped them in crumb cake because I really wanted this to stand out against everything else. Okay. Right. So let's put this aside and then we get to keep going. And then on Wednesday by the afternoon, I'll have a link to my blog post with the video that'll have the card measurements, as well as a PDF that'll include a picture of the card, the measurements, and the card sketch that I used. So let's go ahead and cut our base just in case we have somebody who is new to crafting because they saw the title and wanted to see this. So what I have here is a 11 by 8.5 sheet of Night of Navy cardstock. And I want to cut this in half on the short edge. So half of 8.5 is 4.25. So here's 4, here's 5. That longest line in between is the halfway mark. And then the second longest line between the full number and the half number, well, that's the 1/4 inch. And so I'm going to place it on there while butting it up against this edge, following it all the way down to make sure it's squared off. And this dark gray is the cutting. And then we have this lighter gray that is going to put a crease in it, and we call that a scoring blade. It's going to score this in here. So we know here's 5, here's 6. That longest line in between is the halfway mark. And we're going to put it on the line, not next to it, right on it, and follow down even in here. The 5.5 goes all the way down. And there we go. Create that crease. Now, I don't use a lot of pressure, so be careful because one of my sweet stampers got a new one. Apparently, she applies a lot more pressure than I do, and she was, cutting through her cardstock. And so when she backed off, everything was just hunky-dory. So, adjust the pressure accordingly. All right, and so then to finish it, I have a bone folder. I'm going to... There we go. Fold that. I line up the edges. There we go. And finish our fold. And that looks fantastic. All right. This card really is easy. I fooled with it for quite a few hours, and I'll show you a couple of different things I did, but I tried a lot of different colors, and then it just all started falling together. Thank goodness. So here is some very vanilla cardstock because we did this. And I'll tell you, I pulled this out right away, this Season of Elegance 12 by 12 designer series paper from the holiday catalog. And I was thinking, ooh, that would be so pretty, right? With the gold in there in the vanilla. Until my friend sent me one of her cards. That's where I was going. And I'll show you what we're going to use in just a second. So we're going to come back with the Crumb Cake Classic Stampin' Pad. And Miss Jamie is, hello, from Texas checking in. So we'll open this up. And you know what? Whenever my stamp is bigger than the pad, I take the pad to the stamp instead. So let's do this. Get this good and inked up. All right. And then come over here and stamp. So this is a tight fit, but I can see around it, so it works really, really well. Okay. And, oh, isn't he gorgeous? He is just so, so pretty, the shepherd. And so I wanted him looking off to Bethlehem with the Star of Bethlehem over it. And this was one of the things I tried, but I really wanted the Star of Bethlehem in gold. And that smaller stamp, for me, didn't emboss well. There, that circle around it, the radiating light embossed. And so this just didn't work like I hoped. And I really want it embossed. I could have done it if I hadn't embossed, but it's the Star of Bethlehem. Come on. All right. And and so I tried, like I said, different colors. And then my first was stamping Peace on Earth in here. And I tried cherry cobbler as well. And it's like, oh, that looks really nice. And then the more I looked, I thought, ooh, no, 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 no. I want to use this. They're praying that you will feel the Good Shepherd's care in this season and throughout the coming year. And I'm like, okay, there's plenty of room on there. So here is the stamp. And I have this on a clear block C. This was on a clear block, and I believe it's E. Let me double check myself. And if you haven't used our clear mount blocks, oh my goodness, look at this. It's smooth, of course, but it's rounded with the grooves, so comfortable to hang on to. If they're flat, not so comfortable, but this sure is. Okay, so we are going to get the Night of Navy cardstock. We're going to keep coordinating with the Night of Navy classic stamping pad. Okay, pick this up, slide that in. And the first time I stamped it, it looked really good to me until I added the ribbon. So this is going to remind me that I need to come up a little bit further. Because when I added the ribbon, it was not quite, a tail was covering it. It just didn't look quite as good as I wanted. So I need to come up higher and center this on here, straight up and down. And there. And it still looks good. And after you see the ribbon, it'll feel more balanced. Isn't that beautiful how well that stands out against that lighter crumb cake? Very pleased with that. So our stamping is done. All right, so let's go ahead and start putting some things together. So if you want to make this for your Christmas card, this is not one of those that's going to take you an hour or more for every card. So let's go ahead and use the Stampin' Seal. And 1 inch in each corner when everything is laying good and flat works beautifully. And so I'm layering this on Night of Navy cardstock. Fantastic. Now my plan when it was going to be this paper was along the side, which of course would be fine, with the star up here. But then make sure you remind me, I want to show you the other ones until my friend sent me one of her cards, and one of them using the season of green and gold. Do you remember this? This is from the online exclusives that were introduced in July. And had so much fun with this. Here's one card I made with it. I'm like, oh, this is just so gorgeous, this paper. And it was available and, not even in low inventory. But there is free shipping tomorrow. Oh, no, free shipping, let's say. Okay, so if you're watching live on Tuesday evening, it's tomorrow. But we're having free shipping on Wednesday, September 18th, 2024 for 24 hours only. And that'll be in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. And if you can order at my store, you can get free shipping when your order in the States is $75 or more. And we've got the holiday catalog that just started, online exclusives, of course, the annual catalog, card kits, prepaid paper pumpkin subscriptions. Free shipping is a lot of fun. And then here's one more card with this paper. Now, this is that vellum, but right back here is that's the side B. This side has all of the specialty paper, has all of the gold, where this, yeah, some very, very nice images, right? Okay, so when she sent me that, and all those stars, like, oh, that was smart and perfect. And not only did I like that she used this, I liked how she used it instead of that strip down the side. Like, oh, that's really sharp. So let's come back with the Stampin' Seal. And this side is flat. You know, we don't have that gold foil. So it will adhere beautifully to my Night and Navy card base. Fantastic. And then it's like, ooh, I've got this. Look at my gorgeous ribbon. We got oh, fantastic. So this is the Night and Navy in gold glittered ribbon. And my tails always go away from me, so I always turn it away. And there is a right and wrong side. You know, it's more glittery on this side. You can feel it and see it, especially in person. So let's do this. And I always work off the roll because I don't waste as much because I've got a nice long tail to work with. If I cut it first, I have to cut it a lot longer to have something to work with. So there we go. Oh, look at that. And you look how that is catching. And that's the side I want up. And I will want to also turn my tails so they come out that way too. So let's see. You twist that. There we go. And this one. And there we go. Everything is right side up and beautiful. All right, so I just need to trim that. And here we go. Oh, let me go this way. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I checked and everything was available before, I went live with my video. Now, tomorrow with free shipping, things tend to run out temporarily. So I recommend getting over to my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com, bright and early, or you know what? You can still email your order to me and I'll get up really early and place it for you to get as much as possible. And so what I have here is my favorite adhesive ever, the Stampin' Dimensionals. And this will serve two purposes, not only the dimension, but it will get it up and over the bow because the bow isn't going over. Oops, you know what? Let's do this. I want this to be up a little higher because it needs to. There we go. Whew. I tend not to press down until I'm happy with my placement. Thank goodness I haven't pressed them down yet. Okay, good. Fantastic adhesive. That dimension adds so much. Now, this one I saw was already peeling up, but if it's not, just press down. That makes that edge pop up to get it really super easy to peel off. And if you haven't yet, hey, say hello and please like my video, share it, and if you're not a subscriber yet, subscribe. Easy for me to say. So anytime I'm upload a video or I'm going to go live, you get a notification of that, so you can come over and say hello and see what I'm up to. Okay, so there we go. That's looking centered. So I've got that dimension, but look, see where we put those up and over that bow, and now the bow going onto this doesn't interfere at all. It was really crowded, when I had it down lower. All right, so now, I like yeah, let's see. Oh, okay, I think maybe, all right, so this side is flat. We're going to put it right on here. And I always put my adhesive on the piece I'm about to layer to. If I did on here, I'm sure I would get it over too far, and that wouldn't be good. Oh, Miss Patricia's here. Hello. All right, so I'm getting to see most of the familiar faces. Okay, and one over here to make up the slack because this is raised up. I take your pick tool. It's such a wonderful thing. And so he is looking up to the Star of Bethlehem with our fabulous greeting. But we're not done. We have a little bit our finishing touch, and these are the gold textured adhesive back dots. And these are from the holiday catalog too. Okay, so let's take, we've got 3 different sizes. I always press down on them so the adhesive stays on the embellishment and not on the acetate sheet. So one about right here. All right, and then a large one. I thought it'd be pretty on the Night of Navy, and a small one. And there we go. We have our faith-based Christmas card with the Shepherd's Care stamp set that's available to order right now in my online store, but I recommend waiting till Wednesday, September 18th, and making it part of your $75 or more order to get free shipping. Oh, thank you. Oh, you all are so sweet. Oh my goodness. Miss Beth is, oh, wow, you all are, well, I'm so pleased that you like this. Took a little while. Miss Beth says, top of the evening. Thank you. And there we go. Thank you, Miss Jamie and Miss Adelaide. And I can't wait to show you my friends' cards. And there we go. You know, I'm really glad. Oh, thank you. I'm really glad that it didn't fall together for me right away. I mean, now that I've got it done, it's so easy because I then, sent to my friend to say, hey, do you have some ideas? I was just going to out and out copy her, but like I said, by the time she got to me, I already had the idea, but that's okay. All right, so let me show you. Let's see how this works. There we go. This is the first one she sent me. And then look at this. This is what, isn't that cool? And so you've got the Star of Bethlehem over. And then this one she fussy cut. And this is the non-Christmas one I was telling you. Now, this one I probably will just out and out copy. Look at that. Isn't that cool? This embossing folder, holiday catalog. And then the last one is her favorite. And it's so funny. I pulled these dies out too. And that's where I stole her idea to use the paper like this. And so that was a lot of fun having those to be able to share with you. And I got back to where I belonged. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you, Miss Kim. And so I hoped you like seeing my friend, and her name is Cindy Fodor. And a wonderful lady, and it doesn't surprise me at all because she and her husband just really strong in their faith that she would select a stamp set like this. And I'd love to know if she was able to make any, what touches she changed. I'll have to ask her that made it her own. Okay, so let's see. Did I cover? Oh, okay. So I covered everything with you, right? Like, share, and comment on my video, and subscribe. The link I'll have on Wednesday for my card measurements and the PDF, the Stampin'. Oh, the Stampin' storage. You know what? When I was showing you these, I failed to tell you they have 15% off and free shipping in the continental United States through September 30th. That is awesome. And so I forgot to tell you that good thing I saw. And the paper pumpkin special that's going on. If you've never subscribed before, 40% off your first month. And there's a link to subscribe with me in the video. And of course, the holiday catalog. Oh, and the scrapbooking brochure. When I was telling you all the things that you can get, free shipping on tomorrow when your order gets to $75, I forgot to add the new scrapbooking line. Oh my gracious, there is so much. Oh, well, oh, you all are so sweet. Okay, so this, I'm sure, yes, she did a beautiful job on her cards. And then, let's see. Oh, there was another one I saw. Anyway, someone said she loved, oh, there we go. There we go. Is it showing? Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, well, that's exciting because Miss Patricia is sharing with us that the peppermint embellishments, they're back. I looked yesterday for one of my sweet stampers and it said, phew, I think I had put them off into October. So that's really good news for tomorrow or for Wednesday, September 18th for anyone wanting to make them part of their order. And again, I'm recommending that you order early. Thank you for sharing that, Miss Patricia, because like I said, I checked yesterday and just kind of gave up a hope. I don't know. I'm usually eternally optimistic. I should have done that again. So there we go. I am back. Well, I'm so glad you joined me. And it was fun to work with this stamp set, and now I've got more ideas that I share with you with my from my friend Cindy. And a lot of times those are, even if you don't copy it exactly, it's a jumping off spot, right? And so the card that I just demonstrated for you, I don't know if that'll show up. There we go. Like I said, this isn't going to take long to make at all. And you can just please everybody on your Christmas card list. And so I don't see any questions, but if you have any, pop them in and I'll answer them before I sign off because I'm getting ready to do that because that's the time of evening where I say, I'm Shelley Godby, teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles. Thanks for watching.